This is Next Gen News, broadcasting live from Nairobi, and we welcome our viewers in Kenya and around the world. I'm Isaac Sanya. In our today's program, we unpack global and exclusive issues in matters concerning education, arts and culture, health, and sports. But first, here's a look on our today's top stories. NASA's Voyager 2 reaches interstellar space 11 billion miles from Earth. The Voyager 2 probe has left the protective bubble around the sun and is flying through interstellar space, NASA says. The breakthrough means that the spacecraft has become the second human-made object to travel so far. It passed the boundary on 5th November and is now more than 11 billion miles from Earth. 6 years ago, its twin spacecraft, Voyager 1, broke the outer boundary of the heliosphere, where the hot solar wind meets the cold, then space between stars known as the interstellar medium. Nikki Fox, director of the Heliophysics division at NASA, said this time is even better for us to have the Voyagers sending back information about the age of the sun's influence gives us an unprecedented glimpse of truly uncharted territory. The two spacecraft were launched in 1977 on a mission to explore planets in the solar system. NASA said the twin probes have left the heliosphere but have not yet left the solar system and won't be leaving anytime soon. Thailand will hold its long-delayed general election early next year, and it was confirmed by the military-imposed ban on political activists in the country is to be lifted. Polls will open after months of delays on the 24th February 2019. The ruling Thai junta confirmed it would lift the military-imposed ban on the political activities which have been slowly eased over the past few months. The military government made the announcement in an online statement on the Royal Gazette website, clearing the way for the election. Political parties should be able to campaign to present their policies, the order said. The junta brought the strict ban after it took power in 2014 COP, but allowed political parties to recruit new members and elect leaders in September. Though campaigns and street rallies had maintained banned, the order, signed by junta chairman and Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, stated, "The people and political parties will be able to take part in the political activities during this period leading up to the election accordance with the constitution." And on to the last headline. Former Manchester United star Park Ji-sung offers to quit South Korea's part-time youth role for a distance possible issue. Former Manchester United star midfielder Park Ji-sung has offered to step down from his youth administrative role in South Korea Football Association, officials says on Monday. Park, who also played for Dutch Giants PSV Eindhoven, was the biggest name to emerge from South Korea football before Tottenham striker Son Heung-min. The 37-year-old has pursued a career in football administration since retiring for playing in 2014 and became head of the South Korea Football Association Youth Strategy Development last year, but he has submitted his resignation, an official told, adding that the offer was being considered. The exact reason for Park's decision was unclear, but he currently lives in England, and the official said that he may have been feeling uneasy about the distance from his duties. South Korea football has failed to build on the national side run to the World Cup semi-finals in 2002 on home soil, in which Park played a key role. At the time of his appointment in November 2017, he vowed to develop South Korea's youth football using his abundant experience in Europe. And in matters concerning sports, we look on how Ji Sang, stepping down from the South Korea Youth Development Academy, opens our today's discussion. For Ji, what concerns him is the distance that keeps him from the academy because he knows very well that he will not perform his to the best. But this is controversial to the Kenyan situation because we see most of the Kenyan managers or the football organizers, when they get in that position of the management, they don't want to quit. And also, now this has led to poor results and has led to looting of funds. And now the question is, when are we going to stop this? And how will we improve on our sports in Kenya? Join the conversation live on our social media platforms at Isaac Sanya and at NextGen News on Twitter, and also on Facebook at NextGen News and Isaac Sanya. And I can see your comments streaming in, and here I see Abdi Aziz Hashim says, I can't even understand why they fight in first place. To be elected in those positions when they know very well that they will not deliver, as they say. This is so bad, and I wonder when they will improve. Thanks for your comment, Abdi. And now we are joined live by our correspondent, Kelvin Kimaili. Welcome, Kelvin Kimaili. And just tell us, what do you think is the problem?
Football, volleyball, hockey, rugby, baseball, cycling, car racing, golf, athletics, and the list goes on and on. But the real question is, what are we doing to raise the standards of our sports to a higher level? In each sector of the sport world, we have outrageous talents going to waste without being spotted and used. So who should be blamed? Africa, especially Kenya, we have raw talents who just want to be recognized, supported, in the streets, up country, and everywhere in the country. But they just go unused. For example, the world's most expensive player, Neymar Jr., was born and raised in the streets of Rio de Janeiro, and now is playing for PSG, a big club in Europe. We have made our own fans who should be proud of their own native nations, and clubs cross over to other European leagues and support other nations when it comes to international competitions. For example, in Kenya, only 2 clubs are known, AFC Leopards and Gor Mahia. Go down to South Africa, Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. Central Africa, TP Mazembe. Up to north, Zamalek from Egypt and Esperance from Tunisia. If we compare these to other European leagues, there's much big difference in fan support. The gap between our investment in sports and other countries is so wide open. Even third world countries like Brazil, Argentina are far much away from their compatriots like Kenya. Look at our stadiums, hotels, golf resorts, rallyways, nothing to brag about. Now the question remains, is the new education curriculum in Kenya the start of the country's investment in sports? Do African sport bodies have to introduce more competitions to reach the level of Europe, South America, Asia, and the likes? Let's see what the future will hold to our sports world. For Next Gen News, my name is Calvin Kimaili. Yes, indeed. As a country, we are struggling when it comes to sports, and it is evident even in the sports that we dominate in, that is athletics. We are not doing that well when it comes to financial support and even any other kind of support that we can accord to our athletes and even those who partake in athletics. And when it comes to other sports such as football, hockey, you name them, everything seems to be struggling. Only time that we see the government supporting is when they are giving a reward when we want to qualify for something. How many times have we witnessed and seen our athletes, our sportsmen and women struggling when they leave this country? First of all, leaving this country is a struggle for most of them, and when they get to other countries, most of them spend their nights at airports because they have not been accommodated and they have not been planned for when it comes to accommodation. Food, eating and all that, it becomes so hard, and that's where we find our athletes, most of them when they are given the opportunity to go and represent other countries, especially in the Middle East, they are able to take those chances because they are given more respect as sportsmen. The only thing that Kenya accords sportsmen and women is something, the legend status that is on there only for a while. How many of us remember Pamela Jelimo? Right now, we remember her for what she did when you're forced to remember her, but we will not continue remembering her. We have seen the likes of Conjestina Achieng, we have seen the likes of so many athletes and sportsmen and women who have struggled even after making it big and representing our country when it comes to sports globally. Now I think our country, starting from the government, we need to come up with solutions. We need to come up with institutions that will support and give our sportsmen and women support. Back to you in the studio, Sanya.
And to have a look on your comments here, I see Patience Lay say, nowadays, you cannot distinguish football from politics. The leaders who are supposed to bring change are the ones demolishing our hopes of making steps in our sports world. Thank you, Patience, for your comment. And now we are joined live by a team of experts who will help us understand the big issue here in sports, especially in Kenya. And we have Jester Falcon head coach, and also we have Rawa FC head coach Mr. Shem Jackton Wanyama, and finally we have the sports director Jester University Mr. Morris Masiga. Welcome all to the program. And to start off with you, Mr. Masiga, what areas in sports are we good at here in Kenya?
As a country, we're talented. We have lots of talent in basically all the sport. But the ones that have come out include track and field, otherwise known as athletics in the English world, and also rugby. But the most popular sport is soccer. It's played everywhere, in the stadia, in the streets, in the homes. Soccer is played everywhere. So I guess soccer could become the big thing, the next big thing in Kenya, because of it being very popular everywhere.
What do you think is ailing our world of sports, especially here in Kenya?
I would say that there is not goodwill. There's got to be goodwill in the management of sport. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking about enriching themselves. Asking the question, what is in it for me, in order to provide the services that I'm supposed to provide. But if we think selflessly, as in we're doing this for society, we're doing this for the people, for the athletes that are involved in the different areas of sport.
Mr. Shem, if I may ask, as a coach, what are the dawns that are making us not to improve in our sports in Kenya?
The lack of interest, or maybe government giving sports a priority or focus, is one of the things that I can say it has caused trouble, or maybe it has made sportsmen and women be discouraged in terms of why should I even think of giving my best when I know the government even is doing less to support.
As a coach, what are the dawns that are making us not to improve in our sports in Kenya?
Universities, into secondary schools. I think we need to have a program whereby there is a follow-up for the high school guys. When they finish the high school, they go to the university. To the university, there is also another follow-up whereby they can go to the clubs, and then if we have those structures, I think those untapped talents will have a reason to play the game. But for now, I think there's no that structure of maybe the from high school to the university. So we need to have that link whereby we need to maintain, if someone has a talent, we need to maintain that talent, rather than he plays the game, he or she can play the game, but he doesn't have anywhere to go. So that one means, in terms of growth, the player will demoralize his, what do we call it, the spirit of playing the game.
Here is what I will say. African football, here is what I will say. African sport, especially in Kenya, is in a bad state by all standards. Lack of investments in grassroots structures is putting the future of the sports world in jeopardy. Football infrastructures remain in a bad state, and yet a lot of money continues to flow into the African game. Corruption is slowly suffocating the sports across the continent. Dealing with corruption individuals is made now difficult by even the standing FIFA rules of non-interference in sports matters by government or state bodies. The threat of bans from football often coordinations government submissions to prevent through inspection and monitoring of footballing authorities. FIFA are part of the problem in African football. Corruption, and with evidence of so many cases of theft, it is surprising that little action has been taken to trace the problem. The performance of African teams at the various competitions worldwide continues to deteriorate, and this is a disease that has been influenced by corruption over a long period of time now. And I know action is going to be taken, and African states are going to improve on in infrastructures, resources, and also this disease of corruption is going to be kicked out of the good sports we love. For example, athletics, football, hockey, and other many sports. And I'm afraid we have to come to an end of our today's program. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and like our YouTube channel, and also continue the conversation online through our various social media platforms at Isaac Sanya and at NextGen News on Twitter, and on Facebook at NextGen News Kenya and at Isaac Sanya. That's all we had for you today, and goodbye.